what's up, witches? It's me, Luna, and my husband and my son are downstairs right now. We're getting ready to undecorate the house from the holidays, and he has decided not just to pull out the boxes for that from our little cubby hole under the stairs, but everything. He's decided everything is coming out to be gone through, and if I go down there, I'm going to have terrible anxiety attacks. So I am in full avoidant mode in my happy place for an unboxing, which unfortunately brings up another crisis point. This is the last tarot deck that I have in my waiting to be unboxed stack. I have a few oracles, but the last tarot deck. So if you want to see tarot unboxings continue, please hit the Amazon link below and send me a deck and you will get a reading on my unboxing video. But let's take a look at this one. This one I've had for a while, so it fell to the bottom of the list. Tarot cards, Minchiate, Minchiate. Now, I will tell you, my daughter found this deck at Spencer Gifts. Spencer's that has all the oddities. This is not the only deck that Spencer's has produced, but it comes with no book. So enter the Encyclopedia of Tarot. I had a copy of this that somebody gave me years and years ago, and I donated it, and I ended up rebuying it just for, to be able to reference things, and I'm really glad. Minchiate of Florence deck, similar to early Tarocchi packs, is enlarged to 97 cards by the addition of 12 zodiac sign cards, 4 element cards, 3 theological virtue cards, faith, hope, and charity, and 1 cardinal virtue card, prudence. In place of the usual 4 cards of the Popess, the Empress, the Emperor, and the Pope, the Minchiate has only 3 imperial cards. The Popess, or the High Priestess, that would be, becomes the Grand Duke, the Empress becomes the Western Emperor, and the Emperor becomes the Eastern Emperor. The complete Minchiate pack contains 41 trumps, majors, and 56 suit cards, so only 56 minors. The first 5 trump cards are called Papi. The first 15 trump cards contain Roman numerals, so they go through a description, and I'm not sure this deck is going to follow that, but you get just a little taste of what we're going to look at here. So here we have the box, and it's a 2-part box. Known as the Tarot of the Renaissance, the Minchiate Tarot deck traces its roots back to 16th century Florence, Italy, widely known as the birthplace of Tarot. This deck is a unique must-have addition to any collection, 97-card deck. We don't have a copyright here, but it is distributed by Spencer Gifts, LLC. All right. Here are the backs. Let me zoom you in. Be right back. So the back has the name printed, and you can tell these are like woodcut art is what it looks like. You can tell that they're printed by, each color printed on its own, like woodcuts. So let me get the box out of the way here. Here we go, and I'm going to light my charcoal, because since we don't have a book, the flip through is going to be a little bit shorter than usual. So here we are. Rather than the Fool, we have the Madman, the Madman. Image is not, you can see how much earlier these cards are, so we don't see anything that corresponds with like the Waite Smith deck or other things that we're familiar with. Now, I don't know about like Tarot de Marseille or something like that. Here's the Magician, and we can see, the things on his table, the mountebank, and these are kind of thickish. I mean, not too bad, not too bad. Here's the Empress. So that's instead of the High Priestess. And then we have the Pope is number 3. The Emperor and the Lovers. So we don't, this does not go along with what I just read. Okay, so Madman, Magician, Empress, good God, Empress and Pope, and now we have the Emperor. And I'm glad they have names on them, because being unfamiliar images, I would be struggling. I mean, Lovers, that would be an easy one. But they don't correspond to the numbers that you're used to seeing. So very good that they have titles on them. And then we have Temperance as the number 6 card. That's out there. Then Strength is 7. No lion, but a column that she's holding. Justice. This is probably, well, up there with the Magician as far as familiarity with the image. Then we have Fortune. Okay, so that's the wheel. It's number 9. And we have the Roman numerals, so we don't have like the IX for 9. We have the V. I. Here's the Chariot, number 10. The Hermit. They certainly have that arcane feel to them, don't they? And he's with an animal. There's no light. There's an arrow. I don't know how much, you know, you can draw on the different elements of the image if you want to do an intuitive reading. Here's the Hanged Man, and he's in the standard pose. It almost looks like a snake wrapped around his leg, but he's got things in his hands that look like flowers. Then we have Death. Easily told by the skull. And here's the Devil. He looks jaunty. He looks like he's whistling a merry tune, doesn't he? Here's the House of the Devil. That's the tower. And now we have the, okay, there's Hope. Interesting to see how it's portrayed. You know, kind of the hands like, you know, I'm praying for something, and then this crown. So looking towards something better, I don't know. Here's Prudence. So she's looking at an image, and there's a snake here. You know, what that says about Prudence, I don't know, but there's Prudence. So again, very happy that they've got names on them. Faith. The Carrie Yale Visconti deck that I have, it's a huge, big deck. And it does not have the names on the images, and they are so very similar in the kind of just gold with some detail on them that it was really difficult for me to discern, especially the court cards from the majors. So this is much easier. There's Faith. Interesting that there's no cross on there. And here's Charity. So these must be the symbols of these. So the crown represents hope. Prudence, I don't know that. I mean, it could be a mirror, but it doesn't look like her. There's something on his head. So whatever she's holding up there that represents Prudence. Faith, I don't know what that's supposed to be that represents faith. And then Charity, it looks like a flame. So I would love to know, and look at the numbers cut off here. So these were certainly taken from something else. There we've got a whole number, but look at how we start cutting off. So obviously this image was made much bigger, and in the process ended up cutting some things off, and the same goes for Charity. Interesting. Then here are the elemental cards. The Fire. This is number 20. The Water. The Earth. and the air. I really like having elemental cards here. And then we have the Libra. That's 23. Oh no, that's 24. This is 23, that's 24. The Virgo. So we're going backwards. And then we go forward again. So I'm confused. 24, 25, 26. So Libra, Virgo, Scorpio, and then we jump back to Aries. Very interesting. Libra, Virgo, Scorpio. So, I mean, they don't... I was thinking maybe they're clumped together by, fixed signs or by element, but that's not the case at all. Here's the Aries, and then Capricorn, Sagittarius. Whew. Wait a minute. They're a mat, and they kind of stick. So Sagittarius, and it looks okay. Do you see that? This is why I got all messed up. Come on. See that little line across the bottom? It looked like there was another card behind it. Okay, Sagittarius, the Cancer. This is number 30. The Pisces, the Aquarius, the Leo, the Taurus, 34, 35 is the Gemini, 36, okay, so hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, just wanted to make sure they're all there. Since they aren't in order, it's really hard to tell. Now we are back to the regular majors. Here's the star, the moon, the sun, except that we don't have numbers on them anymore. So the last one of Leo, the Taurus, the Gemini. So the last number there was 35. So we have 36, 37, 38 for the sun, 39 is the world. The trumpets, I'm assuming that would be judgment. That would be 40. So 40 major arcana. Wow. All right. So now we're into the suits, the swords. Ace of Swords. Thank God that's easily recognizable. The Two of Swords. So we have an interesting animal, but these look like they're going to be pippish, which I would expect. Three of Swords. And this is this Romulus and Remus. I mean, you have to assume that these symbols and illustrations had much more meaning in the context of the time. Here's the Four of Swords. The Five. So we've just got critters in the background, but how will I find out what they mean? I don't know. There's the Five, the Six. Sometimes they're interacting, sometimes they're just decorative. By the time we get to 7, the critters have gone away because we've got so many swords. Here's the 8. Oh, there's a critter. Zzz. 9. Look at this curved sword coming through. And then we have 10 with the 2 curved swords. I mean, I like the way they're arranged. And then we do have critters on that one. Okay. Then we have the Jack. So the page is not a page, it's a Jack. The Jack of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Queen, and the King. Now, yes, so it will be 56. It should be 56 minors. Then we have clubs, so these are wands. Per case. The Kase. I have no idea what that means. 2, 3. Ooh, I like the white, black, and red. Those are goddess colors. The 3, the 4, the 5. A lot less in the way of figures in this suit. The 5 of clubs, the 6 of clubs, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, the Jack, Knight. How interesting is that? I need to look at the last Knight, because this guy is part horse himself. And so is this guy. So we have the knights are actually like centaurs. Knight of clubs, the queen. Boy, they are really hard to pull apart. And the king. All right, here are the coins. Again, you get the idea of an image that was made bigger because it's kind of cut off at top and bottom when it doesn't need to be. Here's the 3, the 4. Carte fine di Roma. 5, the 6 with somebody's monogram on there. 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, I'm really happy that they have the numbers and names on them. Just stop me counting. Here's the Jack, which looks decidedly female. The Knight, which is a lion. Fascinating. So, I'm sorry, but I have to go back. So the Knight of Swords looks like, that looks like a horse, maybe. The Knight of Clubs looks like a lion. Is that a lion and a bull? And then this one looks like a lion as well. There's the queen and the king. Now are the cups, the ace, the 2. Fine cards. 3, 4, 5. Ugh. 7. Here's the 9. So difficult to deal with. I can't wait to shuffle them. Here's the 10. There's the Jack, again female. And here's the Knight. What exactly are we? It looks kind of lionish again, but I don't know what these things are. The Queen and the King. Fascinating. Now, of course, doing a reading with this, I have to go strictly on, my internalized meanings of all of these cards if I'm going to try to get something out of it. But, let's give it a blessing. We might as well get started off on the right foot. I think this is going to be the last of the little bit of sage here. I've been saying that for a while. But fire and fire. Be purified and charged by water and earth. Be blessed and made whole. And by the sound of the bell, we bring in spirit. May this be elevated as a tool of divination. And welcome to my guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Thank you so much for being here. I offer you fresh water. I offer you and this deck the fire of Azrael to call in the spirit of divination. Hey, guides, come in here, hold my hand with this one, please. Now, the moment of truth. The cards have little, I don't know what to call them, dingleberries. Do you see them? Little nurples there. So these were obviously printed on sheets and then broken apart. But, Spencers, do what you got to do. All right. Okay, all right, okay, right, okay. I'm gonna try the whole thing and see. Pray for me. I mean, it's hard because this is like holding a full. Oh, I'm surprised. Oh, that was exciting. Let's do that again. I have to say that, it's pretty much a well-made deck. I do see some that are where they're not cut evenly, but considering what a giant deck it is, considering that it's made by Spencer's, considering what it is, I think it's pretty well done. And when my daughter goes out shopping and she finds like decks available in places she doesn't expect, which she kind of expects in Spencer's, but she knows to keep an eye out for the oddities. This is definitely an oddity, and she'll call me and say, do you have this one? Or do you have that one? Even though I do share with her my on Google Docs, my Excel spreadsheet of my entire collection. Okay, so let's try to get a reading out of this. I'm going to do a 3-card, like past, present, future, situation, action, outcome kind of thing. Let's just see what we get. I mean, I feel kind of at sea here, and there's one thing I want to do. I want to split the deck in half and then shuffle each half so that we get a really good mix. I'm having fun shuffling, can you tell? But it's a little too big to get that really good randomized thing. So if you have a big chunky deck, here's what you can do. You split it in half, you shuffle each half, and then you go like this. Oops. And then they end up pretty well randomized. All right. And I feel like I want to cut them. All right, we'll cut them. Because you see, when you try to cut shuffle like this, you can't even get your hands around them. So I could do it this way. But I am going to cut for the cards. I know things were sticking out there, but I chose to ignore them. So I'm going to leave this wide open as far as question. Let's just see what comes out here. There's 1, strength. There's 2, the 9 of Cups. And there's 3, the King of Cups. And how wonderful, how cooperative of you to give us a major, a minor, and a court. Lovely. Okay. And I'm kind of glad it didn't give me some of the oddballs like the faith, hope, charity, prudence kind of thing but I might go farther with this to see. So strength. Strength and 9 of Cups. Strength is endurance. Strength talks about just handling things with grace and with gentleness, most of all. If you think about the strength card, the Waite Smith strength card with the woman in the lion's head, and the serenity she has on her face and how tame the lion looks, almost like a puppy dog. So this is talking about gentleness, that we endure with gentleness. And certainly, where we find ourselves as human beings over the last while, there's been a lot to cope with. There's been a lot that's new as far as COVID goes. There's been a lot politically. There's been a lot globally as far as weather. And so strength comes out to tell us that, we have to abide these changes that we have no control over. But how do we do that? We do it with gentleness. We do it. The column here, I think, is just talking about like your inner support, your backbone, that we do have some strength to us, some structural strength. We do have the ability to endure and cope and get through things, but we need to do it with gentleness, because if you don't, then you're just adding more stress to yourself than what you're already dealing with, right? Then we have Nine of Cups. So Nine of Cups is the wish card. And I mean, going on intuitive stuff here, and then with the King of Coins talks about being a master of resources. He's looking over to the Nine of Cups here, and the message I'm getting there is being very grateful for the things that we have, looking at the what we have that gives us joy, kind of dwelling in joy and gratitude. Him, King of Coins, is the kings talk about mastery, and this is mastery in the material, which says that, when I throw out the King of Coins, when I was doing personal readings for people, I would talk to them about, there's a murder of crows going over, I would talk to them about making money your bitch instead of the other way around, right? So a mastery of resources means that we don't let our material circumstances take us down. And he is mastery of it. He's looking at the Nine of Cups. He's like, I can manifest the things that I wish, but most of all, I am joyful and grateful for my resources. All right, I'm going to take them off the top now and just keep going here. And here we have an element, the fire. So strength and Nine of Cups. Fire is the creative and the passionate. So while we are so it talks about us really tapping into that power of wishfulness, of wishing to create in order to manifest. So this is like magic here. But we need to do it from a place of gratitude, and we need to do it from a place of strength and gentleness, and not, knee-jerk reaction to things. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Well, she does talk about truth-telling, and she talks about knowing the truth of things, because she's coming at it from an intellectual standpoint, not an emotional standpoint. But for me, intuition is also a function of the intellect and not the emotional body. So she is very intuitive. Look at how they are both facing. And look at how strength is looking this way. Everybody's focused here. One more card. Let's see what we're focused on. And then we have the Five of Swords. Oof. Okay. Well, Five of Swords can talk about abuse of power. It can talk about win-lose, seeing things as a win-lose situation. The only thing that's not, I see the little critter on fire there, which kind of looks like a tiger with the stripes-ish, is sort of heading away from this. All right. I'm not sure. The Five of Swords. So let's look at the two sides of it here and see what we might be coming into as sort of a battle. So we've got the gentle, the enduring, and the creative, the passionate on one side, and then we have money and intellect on the other side. So the material and the intellectual. So maybe the battle here, the win-lose, is between our ability to create, to manifest, to tap into our passions and guide them gently. The Strength card, tame and guide. And on the other side here, we've got to focus on money, and we've got to focus on the truth, on discernment, but also, way back with my Hanson Roberts deck, the Queen of Swords really would show herself as someone with baggage, someone with trauma. So our traumas and someone with armor. So the battle here can be between those things. And then we've got the Nine of Cups up there, which is, which do you want? What is it that you want to manifest? Do you want to take a hold of your life with gentleness and with inner serenity in order to fan your own creative flames and create? Or do we want to be the master of money and the dispassionate, unemotional, the feminine side, the intuitive side of just being, dispassionate? So we have to decide what it is we want. I'm going to take a hit on this, the Two of Coins. So there we go again with juggling resources. And then we've got the Ace of Coins up top. So all that shuffling and those two cards stayed together. So we do have, financial issues, but I think it's talking more about here beginning again as far as our relationship to the material. We were on such an even, a level road for so long, just as far as the economy goes. And through this pandemic, we've seen, things get wildly more expensive and big shortages, and then it goes away. And, now I found out because I saw these memes about eggs, and it's like, what the hell is this about? Oh, there are egg shortages in places, and they're really expensive. And yes, they've gotten more expensive where I am, but we haven't had any shortages. So we have to, look at how we're dealing with our material resources and recognize that there is an abuse of power as far as the way some things are priced. But I think the middle of it is what is it that brings you joy? Which way will bring you the most joy? I mean, that's what I'm getting. Certainly when these cards were read in context at the time, it was more of a fortune thing. It was more of a gambling thing. So very interesting. This is certainly not a deck that I'm going to be reaching for with any consistency. Just kind of seeing there's Charity. The Ten of Coins. So again, the 1, 2, 10, King, this focus on the material. The Knight of Clubs talks about movement towards just physical movement. And then Charity. Remembering to share what you have, if you would be joyful with the resources you have. Well, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm getting out of this. I am grateful to have it just for the historical significance. I'm not going to, my focus has always been, if you've been around my channel for a while, you'll know this, that my focus has always been on readability. Is this a good divination tool? I don't care much about anything else beyond that. Can you get a good reading out of it? Does this give me guidance? Can I hook into it intuitively? You certainly can with this deck, but you have to be absolutely grounded in traditional meanings as far as Waite Smith and, or maybe Thoth deck, maybe Marseille deck. I would say if you use traditional Marseille decks, you would have a better footing with this one than any of the other ones. But so I like having decks that I love that are readable in my collection, but I also like having something of each of the lineages, like Waite Smith, like Thoth, like Marseille. And I don't have like just a standard Marseille deck. So again, if you would like to help me fill in those lineages, look at the Amazon wish list below. If you go there right now, the first deck you're going to see on it is a hella expensive one, but keep scrolling till you find something you can afford. Whether it's Tarot or Oracle, I don't care. I am so grateful for everybody that chooses to send me gifts like this. You guys have had a huge impact on the collection. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you got something out of this, hit the like button. It really does help me. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead. I think since I'm really slowing down on adding decks to the collection at, I believe I stand at 356 right now. I'm thinking about how I can branch out into some other things, like maybe some deep dives or another kind of focus rather than unboxing. So if you have any ideas about that, let me know, because I like to be guided by you guys. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I will see you next time. Please stop in on Wednesday nights at 7:30 Eastern for a live stream where I grab a whole bunch of decks and we go at it, and it's always very interesting to see how coherent the messages from a bunch of diverse tools. So hope to see you on Wednesday. If not, you'll see me on another unboxing or something else random. Till then, this is Luna. Blessed be.